promised you something today, didn't I? I promised you the success formula. Now let me tell you a little story. Oh, there I go, using my own methods. Let me tell you a little story. So about a decade and a half ago, 15 years ago or so, I was part of a mastermind. Yes, I'm that old. Yes, I know it doesn't look like it, but yes, I'm that old. Uh, I was part of a mastermind. It was an invite only mastermind. It was a bunch of individuals, kind of that creative, crazy, nutso group that gets together every once in a while and good things happen. And the gentleman that was hosting it brought this success formula to the group, and he shared it with us. And probably to this day was one of the most impactful things that have ever happened to me. And he shared the story that it was given to him by one of his mentors, and his mentor had received it from an individual that was his mentor, and he knew it went back at least 2 or 3 generations, and assuming that it went back many, many more. So this is something that's been transferred for a very long time. And when you're done hearing this, you might go, like I did, that makes sense. And you could have almost assumed this lesson, but until you hear it, you might not be able to appreciate it at the level that it's being delivered. Let me explain. The success formula is an exercise. And if you're taking it serious, you'll write this down and you will actually go through this exercise yourself. Every one of us have had wins in our lives. Now, sometimes we don't focus on those wins, and sometimes the failures overshadow the wins, and we've all been up and down, and life's like a roller coaster. However, we all have had wins. That could be professionally, that could be personally. It doesn't matter what the win looks like. What matters most is the success formula is simply this. You go back and you study your life and you search your mind and you say to yourself, when was the point in time where I was most successful? However success is defined for you. When is that point in my life I was most successful? And I want you to take yourself there mentally. Again, in a quiet place, no cell phones, no interruptions, no noise, no outside stimulus. I want you to be in a place where you can actually focus on this. And I want you to study, contemplate. Some call it concentrating on that particular time. When was it? Now you're there. I want you to identify what was going on in your life. What was your environment? Where were you living? Who was surrounding you? What kind of people did you interact with? What were the things that you enjoyed? Why did you feel the success, and why did you create that success? Take yourself back. What were the people like? Who were you interacting with on a daily basis? Write their names down. And then under each person, what was it about that individual that was special? What was it about that individual that mostly inspired you? What was it about that person that added to your life? What were the outside influences? Because we are a product of our influence, of our environment every single day. Don't believe it, take yourself out of the environment, see what changes. Go back to that place and take a look. Where were you living? How were you positioned financially? What were you doing on a day-to-day basis? What were your daily tasks? What was it that you loved most about that? Because we tend to be most successful when we do the things we love, right? We go one direction, we do the things we love. If you love to play tennis, what do you do every day, Brian?
Well, actually, that's when I was the most successful.
Exactly.
I mean, as a coach, even more than a player. I mean, you just hit a nerve. But yeah, you practice diligently. You set goals. You do the things you need to do to reach them. You basically, I mean, for our deal, it was a whole plan. Whether it was the nutrition, the sleep, making sure school was in place for the students, whether we had the right schedule, right periodization, to the right reputation of skills versus match play. So, I mean, I could go on, but it was very good.
Yeah,
and Jimmy, they say Brian was very kind of like John McEnroe. He was very even keeled in his demeanor at all times.
I'm sure he was. But meditate yourself back to that place. Recreate that place, recreate that environment, recreate the situation you were in at the time, because the success formula is simply this. As human beings, if we can duplicate that environment, that process, those surroundings, that mindset, that excitement, that positioning, guess what happens? Guess what happens? When you attract that reality and you reposition yourself, because sometimes we get off track, guys. I mean, we all do. Things happen in our life, outside stimulus, certain things happen that are outside our control. Yeah, whatever, right? The economy changes, the market crashes, the industry, takes a dump, whatever. Things change. We move on, we roll on. We still get up. Our feet still hit the ground. God willing, we still get out of bed every morning, right? It's what you do with your mindset that makes a difference. Take yourself back there and re-examine what you were like when you were your most successful person. And then plug it into today. If there's people in your life that are emotional vampires, get rid of them. Get them out of your life. Move them away from you. Put yourself in a position to win by recreating the success you once had. Like I said, gosh, pretty much a normal assumption, easy to do, right? But will you do it? That is a success formula. When you actually practice this and you start taking step by step by step and moving yourself towards that direction, you will be amazed at what will happen with respect to your day-to-day activity. You start examining the things that you do every day and mirror the things that you were doing when you were at your most successful position. So more important than the technical skills, more important than the what to do, how to do it, when to do it, more important than anything you can do in your life is to start repositioning yourself in an environment that fosters growth and prosperity. Growth and prosperity.